Hello, friends! Today we're going to have a happy little crafting adventure together. We'll be creating our own miniature world with clay trees and bushes. It's a fun and easy project for all ages. Let's get started. Crafting with clay is a wonderful way to express your creativity. You can make all sorts of shapes and figures. Trees and bushes are easy to make, and they look great in any miniature landscape. So grab your clay, and let's get started on this fun and easy project. Before we begin, let's gather our art supplies. This is an essential step to ensure we have everything we need at our fingertips, making the creative process smooth and enjoyable. We'll need some basic materials, but don't worry, these are easy to find, and you might already have some of them at home. To create our clay trees and bushes, we'll start with the most important material, clay. Clay is versatile and comes in many colors, which makes it perfect for our project. For the tree trunk and branches, you'll need brown clay. This will form the sturdy base of your tree, giving it a realistic look. Green clay is perfect for the leaves and bushes. It adds a vibrant touch to your creation, making it look lush and full of life. You can also use other colors if you like. Feel free to get creative. Maybe add some red for apples or flowers, or even some yellow for autumn leaves. A toothpick will be handy for adding texture to the tree trunk and shaping the clay. This simple tool can help you create intricate details, like bark patterns or leaf veins, that make your artwork stand out. A small cup of water will help to smooth the clay and prevent it from drying out too quickly. Just dip your fingers in the water and gently smooth the surface of the clay. This will give your creation a polished, professional look. Now that we have our materials, we can move on to the fun part, shaping our clay creations. This is where your imagination can run wild. Think about the kind of tree or bush you want to create. Is it tall and majestic, or small and whimsical? The choice is yours. Let's get started and bring your vision to life. Let's start by creating our clay tree. First, take a piece of brown clay and roll it into a ball. This will be the base of our tree trunk. Now use your fingers to gently shape the ball into a cylinder. Make the bottom wider than the top to resemble a tree trunk. You can adjust the height of your tree as you like. Next, we'll add some branches. Roll out thin strands of brown clay and attach them to the top of the trunk. You can shape them however you like, straight, curved, or even with a slight twist. Section 4. Bringing your clay bush to life. In this section, we will explore the steps to transform a simple piece of green clay into a vibrant, lifelike bush that can be a perfect addition to your clay landscape. Now, let's move on to creating our clay bush. This process is both fun and rewarding, allowing you to add a touch of nature to your clay creations. Take a piece of green clay and roll it into a ball, just like we did for the tree trunk. Make sure to knead the clay well to remove any air bubbles, which will help in achieving a smooth and even texture. This time, we'll keep the shape rounder and fuller to resemble a bush. The round shape will give it a more natural and organic look, similar to the bushes you see in gardens and parks. You can flatten the bottom slightly so that the bush can stand upright. This step is crucial, as it provides stability to your clay bush, ensuring it doesn't topple over. Now, use your fingers to pinch and shape the clay, creating small bumps and curves to mimic the look of leaves and branches. This technique adds depth and dimension to your clay bush, making it look more realistic. For added detail, you can use the toothpick to create small indentations on the surface of the bush. These indentations will simulate the texture of leaves and give your clay bush a more intricate appearance. This will give it a more textured and realistic appearance. Take your time with this step, as the details you add here will greatly enhance the overall look of your clay bush. Remember, the more effort you put into the details, the more lifelike your clay bush will appear. Enjoy the process and let your creativity flow as you bring your clay bush to life. Section 5. Adding details and finishing touches. To make our tree even more realistic, let's add some texture to the trunk. This step is crucial as it brings life and character to your clay creation. The more detailed you are, the more lifelike your tree will appear. Use the toothpick to gently etch lines and patterns onto the surface of the clay. Think about the natural lines and grooves you see on real tree bark. Try to mimic those patterns to give your tree a more authentic look. You can vary the depth and direction of the lines to create a more dynamic texture. You can create a bark-like texture or any design you like. Feel free to experiment with different patterns. Maybe add some knots or small holes to represent the natural imperfections found in trees. This is your chance to get creative and make your tree unique. For the leaves, take small pieces of green clay and flatten them with your fingers. The size and shape of the leaves can vary depending on the type of tree you're creating. If you're making a broadleaf tree, you might want larger, more rounded leaves. For a pine tree, smaller, needle-like shapes would be more appropriate. You can then shape them into simple leaf shapes or leave them as irregular blobs. Both options can add a different kind of charm to your tree. Simple leaf shapes can give a more structured look, while irregular blobs can make the tree look more whimsical and natural. Attach the leaves to the branches by gently pressing them onto the clay. Make sure they are securely attached, but be careful not to flatten them too much. You want to maintain the leaf shapes and textures you've created. You can also add some leaves at different angles to give the tree a fuller, more three-dimensional appearance. Once you're happy with your tree and bush, set them aside to dry completely. This is an important step, as it ensures that all your hard work stays intact. Depending on the type of clay you're using, drying times can vary. Air-dry clay might take a few hours to a couple of days, while polymer clay will need to be baked according to the manufacturer's instructions. The drying time will vary depending on the type of clay you're using. Be patient and allow the clay to dry thoroughly before handling it further. Once dry, you can even add some paint or additional details to enhance your creation. Enjoy the process and take pride in the unique piece of art you've crafted. Section 6. Displaying your clay masterpieces. Congratulations! You've created your very own clay tree and bush. Once they're dry, you can display them proudly. You can create a whole miniature forest by making more trees and bushes. You can also use your clay creations as decorative pieces for your home. Place them on a shelf, windowsill, or add them to a centerpiece for a touch of nature. Remember, there are no mistakes in art, only happy accidents. So, let your creativity flow and have fun creating your own little world with clay.